What's happening, guys? Rob with Commotion Diecast here. It is a rainy Friday afternoon. I'm taking a little bit of time to run some stockers. Just thought I'd share it with you guys. We've got 16 stock cars. None of these have really had a lot of effort put into them, except for this guy. And we're just gonna run them today, see who the champ is. Fastest time in the round moves forward. Here we go. Up first, in lane number 1, we've got the Cadillac Escalade with FTEs versus the number 3 Probe Funny Car. And here we go. Looks like the Probe took it with a 17:29 to a 17:41. 29 is the time to beat. Switching lanes, the Escalade has to beat a 17:29 to move on. Round 2, go. Not gonna happen. Looks like the Probe took another 17:29. Moving on to the next round. Up next in lane number 1 is the number 13 Solaire versus the car I call Blueberry. Round 1, here we go. Woo! Blueberry took out, running a 17:57 to an 18:12. That's going to be hard to beat. The time to beat is a 17:57. Round 2, here we go. Looks like he did better that time. 18:10, still not a good time. Blueberry moving on with a 17:62. Up next in lane 1, we've got the FTE Way Too Fast taking on the Matchbox 280. Round 1, here we go. Ooh, good runs. But the 280 took it with a 17:24 to a 17:29. The time to beat is a 17:24. Can the 280 do it? Round 2, here we go. Ooh, Way Too Fast putting a lick on him. Did he beat a 24? He did not. 280 slowing down, but moving on. Up next in lane number 1, we've got the Zamac Solaire versus the Green Predator. Round 1, here we go. Solid race. The Zamac Solaire setting a time of 17:26. 26 is the time to beat. Switching lanes, can the Predator pull off a 26 or better? Round 2, here we go. He's out on him. Oh, but the Solaire came around him with a 34 to a 36. Moving on. Our next matchup is between the Gold F40 and the Gold Flame Runner. Round 1, here we go. Woo, F40 putting it on him. Running a time of 17:45. Flame Runner is gonna have to beat that 17:45 to move on. Round 2, here we go. Woo, not gonna happen, I don't think. F40 running a 49 and moving on. Up next in lane 1, we've got the Speed Seeker versus the Maserati Ghibli, or however the hell you say it. Round 1, here we go. Ghibli running a 17:21. That one is going to be hard to beat for the Speed Seeker. Lanes are swapped. Got to beat a 17:21 to move on. Round 2, here we go. Ghibli takes it again, flips on its lid with a 31 to a 44, moving on to the next round. Coming up next, we've got Quick Trick in the right lane and the 442 sitting in lane 2. Round 1, here we go. Ooh, 442 pulls it top end with a 39 to a 48. Quick Trick is going to have to beat a 39 if it wants to move on. And here we go. Ooh, a little bit tighter. Oh, it came around the 442 on the top end with a matching 39. Whenever there's a tie, we go to the next fastest time. And in round 2, or round one rather, the 442 had a faster time by 0.02 of a second with a 46 to a 48. 442, moving on. The final pairing for the first round is the Kenner Fun E car going up against the Cadillac V16 with blings. Round one, here we go. Kenner out on him. Oh, let's see what they got. A 49 to a 55. Got to beat a 49 to move on. Switching lanes, Kenner holding it down with a 49. Can the Cadillac V16 better that and move on to round two? Here we go. Kenner gets out on him with a 50. Best time moving on was the Kenner with a 49. And here are the matchups moving into round two. We had a fastest time of 21 by the Ghibli. Up first, we'll have the Probe Funny Car versus Blueberry. The Zamac Solaire will be taking on the Matchbox 280. Ghibli versus F40. Kenner Fun E Car versus the Oldsmobile 442. Let's get to it. 70 plus grams in lane one versus 30-ish grams in lane two. Here we go. Woo! Funny Car getting it done with a 1734. Not sure if Blueberry even has a shot to beat a 34, but we're running them nonetheless. Round two, here we go. Funny Car out on him. Woo, picking up to a 28. Funny Car is picking up and moving on. Lane one, Solaire Zamac. Lane two, Matchbox 280. Round one, here we go. Woo, tight race. Zamac Solaire laying down a 29 to a 33. Got to beat a 29. This 280 does not like lane one as much. It typically slows down a little bit for some reason, but he's got to beat a 29 to move on. Round two, here we go. Woo! Not gonna happen. Solaire Zamac running a 32. Moving on. Next matchup, Maserati Ghibli versus the F40. Who will move on to the next round? Round one, here we go. Woo, Ghibli out, but it was a tight race. 1736 to a 42. 1736 is the time to beat if the F40 wants to move on. Round two, here we go. Woo, tight again, but the Ghibli lays down a 33 to a 46, moving on to the next round. Final matchup for round two, the Kenner Fun E Car versus the Oldsmobile 442 for the final spot in the final four. Here we go. Tight race, but the 442 pulls on the top end, running a 43 to a 49. The Kenner has got to pull a 43 or better if it wants a shot to move to the final four. Round two, here we go. 442, still getting him. Got to be out, runs another 43. Very consistent car. And the 442 will be moving on. And here are your final four. We have got the Probe Funny Car going up against the Zamac Solaire, the Maserati Ghibli versus the Olds 442. Let's see who's going to move on to the finals. Up first in lane one, Zamac Solaire. Lane two, number 3 Funny Car. Round one, here we go. Tight race. Woo, but the Funny Car at the end squeaks him out. 1734 to a 1736. These two are running very close to identical times. Zamac Solaire has got to beat a 1734 to move to the finals. Round two, here we go. Tight race. Oh, he pulls off the victory with a 1720. You talk about picking up that round. That is a monster time for that Zamac Solaire. Moving on to the finals. And for the final spot in the finals, 442 versus Ghibli. Round one, here we go. Ghibli out in front, running a solid 1725 to a 1746. That's going to be tough. Ghibli does not like lane number 1. I'm going to be adjusting the end of my track. I think the wider cars tend to slow down, but nonetheless, 442's in the fast lane. Got to beat a 25. Round 2. Who's moving on? Here we go. Ghibli out in front. Ghibli gets the win with a 26 to a 30. Moving on is the Ghibli. Before we get to the finals, let's figure out the 3rd and 4th positions between the 442 and the Ford Probe funny car. Round 1, here we go. Tight race, the funny car passes him in the last little bit, laying down a solid time of 17:30. 442 is going to have to beat a 17:30 to take 3rd place. Here we go. Tight race, but the funny car with a 28 is going to clinch 3rd place. And here are your final 2 cars, the Zamac Solaire and the Maserati Ghibli. Each of these cars will get 2 passes in each lane. Fastest time wins. Round 1, here we go. Woo-wee! Ghibli knocked my cardboard out, a 26 to a 27. Whew, 26 is the time to beat. Ghibli with a 17:26 is the time to beat. Round 2, here we go. Ghibli pulling out a 19. Whew, setting the bar high. Switching lanes, Solaire has got to beat a 17:19. Round 3, here we go. Whoo! Look at that. 17:20 to a 17:25. The Zamac Solaire is knocking on the door. Can he do it in the final round? Solaire has got to beat a 17:19 to take the championship. Round 4, the final round. Who will be the champ? Here we go. Solaire coming in pretty strong. Ooh, with a 21 to a 27. It is just not enough. Here is our champ, if he'll come out. Wow. Running a 19 to a 20 by the Solaire. This is the number 1 car for today, Maserati Ghibli. Impressive times. There is the champ, the Maserati. Boy, ultra hots. Solaire Zamac within 1/1000th of a second for 2nd place. Probe funny car, always running strong, coming in 3rd. And the Olds 442. Fought it out, but got 4th. Congratulations to these fast cars. Until next time, guys, I'm Rob with Commotion Diecast. Have a great afternoon.